What's up, Server Nation? This is Mighty Mike, the podcast server, and you are listening to ProcessServerDaily.com. Guys, I'm super excited about today's episode, and if you have a story that you want to tell that you're excited about, maybe a dog chased you, maybe a guy tried to shoot you with his gun, maybe you had a heartwarming story where you helped somebody in need. Guys, I want to hear that story on this show. Go to ProcessServerDaily.com/be-a-guest. Find some studio time. Go to ProcessServerDaily.com/be-a-guest. I look forward to speaking to you and hearing your story. Let's get to the show. Our guest today was a combat veteran of Operation Iraqi Freedom and served for a brief time in law enforcement. She gained a bachelor's degree in business while working the private sector as a private investigator and process server. Amanda Curran, welcome to the show.
Hello, how are you, Michael?
I'm doing good. Amanda, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got started in this industry.
Well, I mean, you pretty much hit the nail on the head there. I got into it actually as a private investigator, and I was serving papers for the private investigator I worked for on the side. And then I decided, just due to some circumstances, utmost respect for the person I worked for and given me the opportunity, but I needed to branch off on my own. And so Apex Legal Support Services was born.
That's excellent. So, Amanda, there's a reason why you're on the show. You're full of great experiences, but first tell me a little bit about your family.
Well, my family is awesome. My family is everything to me. My two kids, I have a 6-year-old daughter named Cassandra and a 4-year-old boy named William, and they are my world. And they actually were a big influence in me opening my own business too. I just wanted to be able to pass something on to them, for their future and secure their future a little bit more than working for somebody, and have the flexibility to be able to work for myself. And we are a family-owned business, so all my employees, if that's what you want to call them, I prefer colleagues or associates, are family members, and we are, as thick as thieves. Our blood runs strong. So it's a great experience. It's a challenging experience at times, but it's awesome.
That is awesome. Being able to run your own schedule and to own your own business is something that they say that entrepreneurs were the only ones crazy enough to work 80 hours a week for ourselves to avoid 40 hours a week for somebody else.
It's absolutely the truth.
So we're not all about negativity here, but we do like to start it off with your worst experience. Tell us about your worst experience working in the field.
So I think anytime I have to serve somebody that is either handicapped or an elderly person, I have a personal moral problem with it. I still do it, and obviously it's part of the justice system. It has to be done. But I would say the worst specific experience would be actually kind of recently. I served a foreclosure notice on somebody's home, and he was handicapped and his wife's handicapped, and it was just, I think a lot of people move down here to live the dream, the retirement life, to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina specifically. And I just felt bad about the whole thing, and he was not happy about it. So he was threatening me, and it was just it had gone through, I think, the sheriff, it had gone through 2 other process servers, and it was one of those ones where I, pulled up, he came home from work, I was conducting surveillance down the street, so I obviously knew what he drove. He pulled in his driveway, I pulled in behind him. I said, here you go, I have some legal papers for you, and he tried to deny who he was, and obviously I had a picture of him and everything else, so there was no denying it. And he said, well, I'm not taking your papers. And I said, okay, well, in South Carolina, you know about the drop serve, you could drop it at their feet and be done with it. So that's what I did. And after he realized he was getting served without having to actually take the papers, he went off, well, I have a gun in my back pocket and I'm going to take it out and shoot you. And I was like, listen, dude, that is not in your best interest right now. And then, he kept on with it. He followed me back to my car. And we try to remain professional, obviously, at all times. So I had to convince him it wasn't in his best interest to do anything, and he just needed to go inside, which he eventually did. But I just, some people, you can do that and walk away from it and feel okay about it. But with that one, it was just the circumstances and the fact that they were older and handicapped and disabled. It was just left a bad taste taste in my mouth, but it's take the good with the bad in this profession for sure.
So Amanda, what I take from your story the most is we're all people. And when you get out there, it's amazing, whether it's a single mom getting evicted or whether it's a guy with schizophrenia getting a restraining order. Like as a process server, you literally get everything. You get the grandma and grandpa that are so sweet. They just baked cookies and want to invite you in. You get it,
right.
You get it all. And in the situation
right.
it sounds like you sympathize like I do for a lot of these people. You sympathize for their situation, but at the same time, you have a job to do. And so it sounds like you were able to do it.
Exactly. And, the next time we went out there, I had our local police department come out there with us, and I wasn't the one to serve him. It was somebody who worked with me to serve him. We left off on a bad note. And it went much better the second time. But it was just, I like to leave everyone with a good feeling. I don't like to leave off on a bad note. And that one there was no reasoning with him. So you get the job done and you walk away from it and let it be, I guess.
What do you want Server Nation to take from your story, your bad experience? What do you want them to learn from that?
I would say the best thing that you could possibly do in a situation where the person that you are serving is utterly unreasonable is to remain calm, because nothing good is going to come out of you escalating your attitude to match theirs. It's going to end badly. And the best thing you can do is remain calm and sometimes just not say anything. Sometimes you just get in your car and you leave and you write on your affidavit exactly what happened. And, if need be, if you have to serve them again, then we did, you call your local police department or your sheriff's department and have them go out there with you. That's
perfect. So Amanda, tell me about your greatest experience working in the field.
Well, I always love the hard to serve people that can't be found. So that any of those are good. I would say my greatest feel good experience is we served a individual who owed, I think it was almost a decade, 9 or 10 years of child support. And the reason why the woman wasn't receiving the child support is because he had a job, I think it was in a prison or somewhere where he worked an odd schedule. And this specific attorney kept hiring the sheriff to go out there, and they don't work, they won't sit like we do. They work very few hours during the day. And if they don't get them, it's just non-service. That's it. So for years this was going on, and every year she would hire an attorney and they would always hire the sheriff's department and they could never serve the individual. So finally they hired us, and we ended up getting him served, and she was able to get back all that child support. So it was I don't know how much money it was, but like I said, it was about a decade. So it was a large lump sum.
What a cool experience. Amanda, what are you working on right now that you're most excited about?
Well, personally, in our company, we are being certified right now through SLED to be a licensed PI firm. So that'll be coming within the next couple months. And like I said, I come from a PI background, so it was just a natural next step. But I would say as far as process serving goes, I'm really excited about all the social media groups that have kind of sprouted up. I think social media is a great way to network. Number one, it's free. Number two, it connects you to people that you would obviously otherwise not be connected to. So I'm really excited about all the groups that are popping up just as far as information sharing and networking goes.
Yeah, social media is the new marketing. A lot of people say, I'm not really into social media, or what's Snapchat? I don't need Snapchat. And maybe Snapchat isn't essential for you right now, but the social media that teenagers are using right now is Snapchat, just like the social media that we were using when we were teenagers, or just after, was Facebook. Right. And so,
exactly.
And if you talk to a young person right now, they'll tell you, Facebook is for old people. I'm like, what are you talking about?
But it's true. I had to go to my younger brother to learn about Instagram.
Yep.
I didn't have a clue, but
yeah, exactly. Instagram.
He's got 3,000 followers on there for posting truck pictures. I'm like, well, you need to teach me. So he mentored me in Instagram.
Yeah. And let me tell you, Instagram is an amazing tool to be able to gain followers and to gain an audience, a specific audience that you're after. So that's awesome. So you guys are going to be a private investigation firm, so you can hire employees to work under you that aren't necessarily private investigators that are learning, right?
Yes. And I mean, like I said, we are a family run business, so we keep it in the family for the most part. I would say that would be a good 5-year goal for us to hire outsiders, if you will.
Right. And that's how you can, your revenue, that's how you can build your revenue, because you're basically
Exactly.
duplicating.
The branch out.
Yeah.
Right.
That's awesome.
For sure.
So Server Nation, Amanda has been dropping some major value bombs on us today, but prepare yourself because we're headed into the rapid fire round right after a word from our sponsors. Server Nation, I know you're with the times and you want to do whatever you can to have all of the resources for your client. That is why I created 123efile.com. As a process server, attorney, or even an improper, you can visit the website and file your documents in any of the Tyler courts in California. With its easy to use one-page operation, you can have your e-filing done in a matter of minutes and get back to what really matters. If your time is important to you, visit 123efile.com. Server Nation, welcome back to the show. Amanda, are you ready for the rapid fire round?
I hope so.
If you could recommend one app, what would it be and why?
I'm a big fan of the timestamp camera on my phone, just because I don't have to hook up a body cam. It's simple. I could snap a picture. There's a timestamp, and a lot of them have GPS now, and they're free.
So what's the name of that one? Is it just timestamp?
I think it's called Free Timestamp Camera, and it's for Android. I think there's an iPhone version as well.
I use the app called APD Timestamp. The TriStar mobile software that I use has the date and time and GPS stamped in it. But for situations where my phone is about to die, I just want to take one photo, I use the APD Timestamp. It works really well for Android. Amanda, what case tracking software would you recommend as the best?
Serve Manager. Absolutely, hands down.
A lot of people love Serve Manager. What's your favorite thing about it?
Customer service. I can literally call, and they are actually in a different time zone. I think they're in Mountain time zone over there, and I have it timed. They're like 2 hours behind me, but I will call they're 8 o'clock in the morning. Somebody picks up, and my problem is solved by 8:10.
That's awesome. Amanda, what is your favorite skip trace tip or trick?
Yeah, and it sounds kind of cliche, but social media, it's my always go-to. And then obviously I have my databases. I use Delphi and Tracer, but social media is priceless. It really is, and it's free.
Social media is kind of the link, yeah. So you said DelvePoint and Tracers?
Yeah, DelvePoint I use and Tracers. Tracers is really good for kind of obscure information, such as cell phone numbers. You can even type in, put in a cell phone search on there and get who owns that cell phone or who's using that cell phone. So they have a couple things that the other databases don't offer.
That's awesome. So what is your favorite tool for defense?
Well, my wonderful personality would be first. But as a last resort, we have our concealed carries, and I use my Smith & Wesson Shield 40.
Oh, watch out.
My favorite. Yeah.
Okay, so what book would you recommend?
Actually, I haven't found an actual process serving book, in that I actually like, that's worth the money, to be honest. I think experience would be the best teacher in that aspect. But as far as business goes, my favorite book actually is not related to process serving at all. It's called The Power of Broke by Damon John. I don't know if you watch Shark Tank at all, but he's the shark on there. And that book is absolutely awesome. I think I've read it a couple times. I have it on Audible. I listen to it all the time, and it's just a very inspirational, motivational book.
Well, I'll tell you, Shark Tank, I'm either watching Dog the Bounty Hunter or I'm watching Shark Tank. Those are my two shows.
That's a good one too, yes. I love Shark Tank, yeah. So Damon's book, if you haven't read it, you have to read it. It's awesome.
And I love Damon. He's such a cool guy. Like, he's the guy who a lot of times doesn't step out and actually invest. And then all of a sudden, when nobody else wants to invest, he's like, I'll invest. Like, it's something that he sees the difference.
Yeah, in his book, he talks about that, and he says that he's been labeled the people's shark, and it's absolutely true.
Yeah, that's good. What is the greatest advice you've ever received?
The greatest advice I ever received was from an attorney who I never got business from, because it's just not really, he's a criminal defense attorney, but whatever. We have a good relationship. But his advice was, your goal for the first year is to keep your doors open. If you can do that, everything else is easy. And he was absolutely right.
Yeah. And every year after that. Amanda, what would you do if you woke up today, had all the same skills and knowledge, had no clients, a smartphone, a car, and only $100? What would you do in the next week?
This question actually cracks me up, and I'm going to tell you why. I think I started my business with less than $100. In that exact situation, I had a car, I had a smartphone, I knew nobody, I had no friends, no clients, and I was actually homeless at the time. I was sleeping on my father's floor of his mobile home. So the first thing I did personally, going back to that area in my life that wasn't so great, I signed up for Uber with the understanding that obviously I was not going to be an Uber driver forever. But as I was going and introducing myself to attorneys, I was getting paid to do it. So anytime I Ubered, I would look up and see where I stopped and see where the nearest attorney's office was. And I would go in there and I would introduce myself with, obviously, the $100 would be towards my business cards and a website. Absolutely vital things that you have to have for anyone to take you seriously. If you don't have a website, you're not getting business. Good luck. It's just not even worth it. In business cards, obviously, it makes you look professional. But yeah, that's what I did. It was $20 for the Uber inspection, they call it, to inspect your car and make sure it's suitable to drive. And I Ubered my way around the Myrtle Beach area and introduced myself, and I built my business primarily off that. Once we became more established, I had other things, obviously, to help enhance my website and, make us up on Google listings, that sort of thing. But there's a lot of stuff you can do for free that doesn't cost money. Social media, if you're willing to do it and you're willing to put in the hours and put yourself out on the line, get out of your comfort zone, you don't need a lot of money to start off.
That's great, Amanda. I tell you what, first of all, you're cruising around Myrtle Beach. It could be worse.
Which is all. Awesome. Exactly.
Okay. Second of all,
and that's always how I looked at it.
Right. Yeah. And second of all, you get to drive around. I don't know about you, but I'm the type of person when I'm driving, I got my music on. I'm in heaven. I could drive all day.
Exactly. And I've gotten clients that okay, I don't want to call anyone out, but attorneys that I've picked up from the bar or whatever and brought them home, and they get to talking in my car and they're attorneys. Well, here's my card. They have called me. I have one of my best clients I met in my Uber. It's a good way to connect with people, and you get paid to do it. So I'm going to get paid for my marketing one way or another.
As a process server, you're out there serving papers, and you probably hear people talking about, oh, I have too many serves, and oh, I have this 30 serves, this and that. That's a great problem to have. But
exactly,
if you don't have that problem, think outside the box. Being an Uber driver, a Lyft driver. Did you ever go to Lyft?
Oh, I do. Yeah, I did both of them.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. I had both apps on at the same time. And like I said, anytime I stopped anywhere, I would just Google attorneys near me. And Google has that nice little thing where it pulls up on the map by distance. And I would just walk myself in there and introduce myself and hand them my card. And that's literally how I built my business.
That's so funny. In the Facebook group, one of the people, I don't remember who it was, but they said that they were staking out this bar, and then someone wanted an Uber ride. So he said, okay, I'll just do the Uber. So he pulls up and the person gets in the car, and it's the person he was trying to serve.
That's awesome. And it's great to get into gated communities. You know how many times I've tried to get into a gated community and they just wave me along because I have an Uber sticker? I mean, It's a good cover.
It's a good cover, and you get a little extra cash for doing what you're already doing. So that's good.
Exactly.
Good stuff, Amanda. That's awesome. So what I take most from your story is think outside the box. Guys, go out there and tackle it in any way that you can. Amanda, what is your final parting piece of advice for the struggling server out there?
I would say in this industry, especially in the beginning, it is very apparent that it is feast or famine. So you are going to have very high highs and very low lows. And I think the most important thing you can take from that is during the low lows to understand that it can't be like that forever and it's going to turn around. So just hang on, don't give up, keep pushing, and it will get better.
Amanda, what is the best way that we can connect with you? And then we'll say goodbye.
Sure. All my information is on our website. It's www.apexlss, and that's Lima Sierra Sierra.com.
That is excellent. Amanda, I want to personally thank you for coming on the show, and I've been impressed with your story, and I'm excited to share it with the world. Until next time, Server Nation, you've been served up some awesomeness by Amanda, the Myrtle Beach Uber driver.
Love it. Love it.
And Mighty Mike, the podcast server. Server Nation, I know that you know all about directories and that you know the importance of getting yourself on the web in as many places as possible. But it's more than that, Server Nation. It's about putting yourself on the websites that get ranked on Google, Yahoo, and Bing. I'm excited about a new program that I'm starting. Really quickly, let me tell you, as a process server, I don't cover the whole country, right? We send servers out to other process servers, and we call that affiliates. My new program is going to incorporate a system when my customers come onto my website and they do a location search, try to find a process server at a specific location. Many times I do not serve that area, and so I might hire an affiliate in another area and manage to serve that way. That takes time and effort away from my local customers and the local efforts that I have here in Northern California. I want to personally invite each and every member of Server Nation to add themselves to my directory on my website. This is what's going to happen. My customers who come to me loyally will search a specific location. If I don't cover a specific location, but you do, guess who shows up? You do. How great is that, Server Nation? I'm going to share something that means so much to me, my customers. I believe that this will benefit my customers because they will have a resource to go to find process servers and to get the best rates nationwide. Oh, but there's a catch, Server Nation. There's always a catch. My directory is free for an affiliate to sign up and get the basic affiliate level. But if you do not perform, when my customers come and they see that it's not me or one of my employees or contractors and they see that it's you, they're going to see a rating next to your name. If your rating falls, you may not get any business. Server Nation, give it a shot. Sign up for the free listing, but please take care of my customers. I love them like their family. Visit processserverdaily.com/affiliates. Until next time, Server Nation, stay safe out there.